Hey guys, what's up? My name's Art. Time for another video. A lot of things happened today. A lot of things. For example, I live in the state of Michigan, and right now, due to the coronavirus, we have like 1,000 cases. Within the span of a couple of weeks, we had about 1,000 from zero. We went from 0 to 1,000 cases, according to the state of Michigan. Okay, that's fine. Oh, by the way, I'm drinking beer. It's Heineken 0.0. It's supposed to be that no alcohol like a Duels. So I decided to drink this. Today is the first day of me working from home. I did a 10-hour day. I worked 10 hours today at home, right here in my room. And it wasn't that bad. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't that bad as well. It was different because I'm used to working with two monitors and a keyboard. So now I'm working off a laptop, trying to do everything, and plus I have a little headset phone that you kind of have to do stuff with just to make things work. And so basically, I started work at 7, and about 8 o'clock, I was actually ready to work. But anyway, so what happened is that our government decided that to help stop the spread of it and to protect our workers and each other, that we all work from home, which is a good play. But hey, I don't have to dress up now. I can just roll out of bed. See, I can just roll out of bed and boom, work. But anyway, so what happened is the biggest thing is that because I live in the state of Michigan, the governor decided she didn't want to do this. At first, she was like, "Okay, we're gonna close down businesses." She slowly closed down businesses, so basically, and restaurants is drive-through only or curbside service. She just now closed down hair salons and nail salons and stuff like that. She just closed that down. And basically what happened was she enacted the National Guard for the next step, which is the current step. But what happened was she probably didn't want to do it quite yet because, of course, depending upon how you want to think about how this whole situation is being handled, some people say that they're doing a great job, and some people say you were playing catch up. It's too late. I believe we're just playing catch up right now because if we would have had the stuff in place like it was supposed to be, it should have been a lot lessened. But anyway, so she signed to stay shelter in place, which means you stay in home. Or wherever, if you live in an apartment, you stay in an apartment. If you live in the house, you stay in the house. Okay? Starting at midnight, 12:01 tonight, which is right now is 9:18, so that means in about a little over 2.5 hours, boom, state of Michigan is shut down to help stop the spread of it. Also, what kind of helped speed up that process was those 2 incidents that happened that was caught on videotape, and especially shown on the local news, where on the east side of Detroit, 2 girls was having a fight, and it was about 50 to 100 people gathered around it and filming it and threw it on Facebook. I saw the video on Facebook, but now it made it to the national news. So, consider the fact that a lot of areas, especially urban areas, see, I live in a suburb, which is slightly urban, but it's a mixture of everybody, so it's a little bit different. But in urban areas like that, the stuff could spread that quickly. Now, personally, I don't know anybody personally who's going through it right now because If I did, I would have known it by now. But then again, it takes about 2 weeks for it to take 10 days, at least 10 days for it to show manifest symptoms. Symptoms. So what happened is that there's some rules, and let me read off these rules because these are kind of fun. Something's cool. Individuals may leave their home, or basically you stay at home. You can leave your home in certain situations. To engage in outdoor activity, including walking, hiking, running, cycling, or any recreational activity, consisting of remaining 6 feet away from people outside the individual's home. So basically, I can take a walk around the net. I can take a walk if I need to. Okay. So if you want to, so if you're a runner, you can run. You can walk, you can walk. 2, to perform their jobs as critical infrastructure workers being designated by their employers. So in other words, you have to be designated to be able to work, to leave your home. Okay. For example, to conduct basic operations as described, to perform necessary government activities, to perform tasks that are necessary for their health and safety to themselves or family members, including pets. So in other words, we can go to medical or dental care if it's needed. Now, for example, tomorrow I was supposed to have a routine dental checkup. So this right here cuts that out. Only if it's warranted. So if you go to urgent care, that's cool. You go to the hospital, that's good. To obtain necessary services or supplies for themselves, family members, in other words, shopping. So in other words, groceries, takeout food, gasoline, medical supplies, and any products necessary to maintain the safety, sanitation, and basic operation of the residence. So in other words, beer is not a necessity. But if beer is included with your food, not a problem, right? To care for a family member or a family member's pet in another household. So in other words, if I had to go to my grandmother was alive, if I go over there to help her out, do stuff, I can do that. To care for minors, dependents, and elderly persons with disabilities or other vulnerable persons, in other words, taking care of kids, stuff like that. To visit an individual under the care of a health care facility, residential care facility. Okay, so in other words, if I want to visit a hospital, fine. But guess what? Hospitals and nursing homes are shutting people away. So that's fine. To attend legal proceedings or hearings for essential for emergency purposes or as ordered by the court. So in other words, if you are on probation and they require you to go to court, you still have to go to court. But then again, the courts themselves could dictate whether you have to report or not. To work or volunteer for businesses operations, to provide food, shelter, and necessities, for economically disadvantaged or needy people. So in other words, like food rescue, donating time, stuff like that. That's cool. You can also travel to return home or replace a resident from outside the state, or to leave a state for a residence for another residence. Or if you own a house, like up north, and you own a house in Detroit, you can travel to either one. As required by law enforcement or court order, including the transportation of children pursuant to a custody agreement. So in other words, say for example, if you have kids and you have to take the kids back to the mother's house, you can do that. Okay. Now there's a thing about you You can work. You can leave the house if you're an essential worker. The thing is, I work for the federal government, and we're considered essential. We are considered essential, but the thing is that, but we decided to work from home, so I don't have to go to work anymore. I just have to work here. Okay, so I don't. So that way they did that on their own. But if they didn't do that, I still have to report to work. Okay. So if you work for a healthcare or public health situation like a hospital, urgent care, doctor's visit, you still can go to work. Law enforcement, first responders, you still go to work. Food and agriculture, still go to work. Energy, still go to work. Water and wastewater, still go to work. Transportation and logistics, still go to work. Public works, still go to work. Communications and information technology includes news media. So the news people still have to go to work. Critical manufacturing, hazardous material, financial services, including banks. Chemical supply and chains and safety, yeah. And defense, yeah. Okay. Child care workers. See, there's a lot going on here. Workers are destined suppliers or distributors. So in other words, like for example, my relative, my mom's husband works at a grocery store. So he is allowed to go to work because that's part of food. And I can go to his job to buy food. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So, I mean, it's a very serious thing. It continues to like April 13th, but, hey, that's fine. And then again, I guess there's, places of worship, I guess you can still go there. But why would you? That would be kind of silly. But, so, you can't gather in more than one spot, even if it's, even for unless you live there. So in other words, you can't do booty calls after midnight tonight. You can't do booty calls. Unless you like go to work, then after, unless you can go to work, and then on the way home get the booty call on the way home, then that's a totally different story. Don't know how that will go. But what happens is the National Guard will be deployed, and I have a feeling that they will be traveling more around Detroit more than like the suburbs, but the sheriffs are out more in detail. So that's what's going on. So, I mean, regardless of what you think about this virus or whether you think you can't get it or whatnot, just remember one thing. An ounce of prevention is worth than a pound of cure. Something like that. Basically, I don't know what the saying, I forgot what the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure or whatever, or something like that. But you should take care of yourself. You know, you can tell my social distancing, I'm a loner, so I don't really go out too much with people. Funny thing is that usually my friend throw a WrestleMania party. Well, you can't do that this year. The only way we can do have WrestleMania parties is if we all come, if we all do a phone thing and talk about what happened. Oh my gosh. You can't have a party unless you have a party chat line kind of thing. So I mean, hey, it's to help stop the spread of this shit. And the thing is that there's some people like those idiots who went to spring break. I'm like, you're free to do whatever with your life, whatever you want to do. You're free to. But the thing is that I don't want to catch that shit, and there's no cure for it because it's a virus. You have to let it run its course. That's the problem. And the problem is you feel like death. I saw this video where this guy caught it. They did some testing and they said that he didn't have it, and all of a sudden they found out he had it because he didn't have the usual stuff. And he said he felt like death because they had to do. And what happens? There's a shortage of medical supplies. So just be careful out there. So what happens? I read some comic books the last couple days. So the last couple days and tonight I read some comic books. I'm gonna finish watching some. I'm going to watch some Batman right now and call it a night, bro. So take care of yourselves. And thing is that you know it's something that we'll get through. And the thing is, I want to see everyone come through this. I wouldn't wish this shit on my worst enemy, especially the guy who assaulted me. I wouldn't wish this shit on this dude. I just wish a bullet was put to his head. Sorry, but no, I don't wish it. I don't wish anything like that. This is karma. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Stay safe and wash your damn hands.